Stop holding your shoulder blades still. On this week's episode of the Exercise is Health podcast, we're explaining why. We're going to cue our introduction and dive right into this conversation. Hey, welcome back, everybody, to the Exercise is Health podcast, brought to you by Muscle Activation Schaumburg. We're your hosts, Charlie
and Julie.
And today we are diving into this idea of your shoulder blades and why you need to stop holding them still when you're exercising or when you're just living your life. But we want to let you know, if you want to start taking action on what we're talking about today, that's exactly what we can help you with at our studio, Muscle Activation Schaumburg, where we specialize in muscle activation techniques. So all you need to do to see our availability and get on our schedule is go to our website, www.matschaumburg.com, click the big green button that says Get Started, and you can schedule yourself for your initial MAT consultation and assessment. All right, so this is episode 450.
What?
Yes, we are in season 9, almost 3/4 of the way through.
Oh my gosh.
Season 9 of this. We have not missed a Wednesday in over 8.5 years.
Wow.
Yeah, okay. So I bring that up because I feel like if you've been following us or listening to this for any length of time, like, we've built up some rapport, so we can be pretty direct with you now, and I hope that you don't take it personally. And so what we need to tell you very directly is you need to stop trying to hold your shoulder blades still.
Yeah.
When you're working out, when you're living life, to put it very bluntly, it's just dumb, because it will lead to you getting injured. Now, I know you've heard that from your physical therapist or from your massage therapist or maybe from even your talk therapist. I don't know, like somebody has told you, oh, when you're doing this exercise, you need to hold your shoulder blades still. And what we are telling you is that is wrong. We want to explain to you why that is, and instead, what you should focus on. That's what we're talking about today.
That's right. So other versions of cueing, or what people have told you that means keep your shoulder blades still, is like when people are like, oh, pull your shoulder blades down and back and hold them there while you do this exercise, and while you live life, and while you do your chest press, and while you walk, and while you jog, and while you do everything else in life, they should always be down and back. Or engage them in any which way. For some reason, like, we think our shoulders are always up, so then we pull them down. Anyways, there's always this down and back stationary idea. And the problem is, this is the concept, is that your shoulder blade is like contains one side of the joint for your shoulder, right? And then when you move your arm, then your shoulder's moving, basically, if you're moving up at the upper limb, not at the elbow, or if you're doing a combination. The problem is there is a coordination that must happen between your blade and your arm, like your upper arm bone, your humerus. So those need to move like in this synchrony of movement, right? They kind of go together. And for some reason in our society, we think that like shoulders must always be down and back, which then makes it so that they're not moving together. So then it's like, keep your shoulders down and back, but then go ahead and move your arm. But what really should be happening is that they should be moving together. And a lot of times we promote like this disjointed movement, and then we were like wondering like why our shoulders hurt or why we're getting all this impingement. Well, a lot of times we're getting all this impingement because we're actively creating the environment for impingement and shoulder funkiness, all the funkies of the shoulder. And so we need to relearn this idea that it's not about shoulders being down and back. It's about the shoulder blade and the arm moving together.
That's exactly right, Julie. So here's the thing. I think we have collectively, as a society, this obsession with posture.
Yes.
And your posture needs to look a certain way from the outside. And if your posture looks a certain way from the outside, then you are perfect. Your health is perfect. Your mechanics are perfect. Your strength is perfect. You as a person are perfect if your posture is perfect. And the truth of the matter is, this idea of perfect posture, and we've touched about this like at length in other podcast episodes, if you were to maintain that like 100% of the time, you would be so broken, you would be so injured, you would be in so much pain, because your body is designed to move. It's not designed to be in one perfect posture that is the same with every single activity that you do. And yet when it comes to the shoulder blades, That's the belief that we have. Oh, you're doing a pull down. Keep your shoulder blades down. Oh, you're doing an overhead press. Keep your shoulder blades down. Oh, you're doing a row. Keep your shoulder blades down. Oh, you're doing a chest press. Keep your shoulder blades down. Oh, you're doing bicep curls. Keep your shoulder blades. It's all about the shoulder blades. And here's the thing. If the advice wasn't hurting so many people, it wouldn't be such a hot topic for us. But the truth of the matter is, if you try to keep your shoulder blades down the entire time you do an activity, your likelihood for creating an impingement, for creating significant issues with all your rotator cuff muscles is exponentially higher than if you just allow your shoulder blades to do what they are wanting to do and do what they are designed to do, which is to move. Because to your point, Julie, there is something called the scapulohumeral rhythm, okay? What that means is your humerus, your upper arm bone, like where your biceps and triceps are, and your scapula, your shoulder blade. There is a rhythm that as you move your humerus, your shoulder blade needs to move. So the bony structures of the humerus don't go crashing into the bony structures of the shoulder blade. It's like this dance, so to speak. So imagine like you're out on the dance floor. Let's imagine Julie and I are dancing. Okay, we used to take dance lessons. Okay, and imagine I'm gonna cue her to like come towards me. We used to do this West Coast swing, right? And so it'd be like, okay, I cue her to kind of walk backwards, cue her to come towards me, I cue her to spin, I do all this stuff. And I'm like, okay, cool, I'm gonna cue you to walk towards me, and then I stay still. That doesn't work that well, right? Because she goes, boom, smash right into me. Like that's not good. And I go, okay, cool, now I'm gonna cue you to spin, and I step like right where she's spinning, I don't get out of the way, boom, she crashes into me. Again, that doesn't work, okay? In our bodies, there's this dance that has to take place between our arm bone and our shoulder blade. And if the shoulder blade doesn't move, if it doesn't get out of the way of the arm bone, that's when, bam, arm bone crashes into shoulder blade. That's when we get this impingement, this really sharp pain or on the shoulder. It's where we get these rotator cuff issues. We can start to get some biceps tendons issues on the front side of the shoulder. And then all of these issues that we're talking about, I got frozen shoulder, I got this, that, and the other. Well, I mean, the issue fundamentally is the mechanics of the shoulder got disrupted for one reason or another. And if you were intentionally trying to disrupt those mechanics, well, then you weren't doing yourself any favors because you were trying to always have your shoulder blades down, always have your shoulder blades back. So the bottom line is your shoulder blades have to move.
So what should we do with all this information, really? What's really important, and so if you followed our content, you could probably guess what I'm about to say, but what's important is that your shoulder blade is strong in all the motions that it can and should do. Not that they stay stationary, but that they stay strong as they move about. So a really easy way to apply this is in your workouts. When you're moving your arms and shoulders, then your shoulder blades should move too. So here's a really good example. On the pull down, when you reach up for the bar, your arms go up and so should your shoulder blades. And when you pull down at the bottom, that down lowest position, when the bar is really close to your shoulders and your chest, then your arms are down and your shoulder blades should be down. But they also should go back up. Like every time you let them go up and then you pull them back down. That's how your shoulder blades get strong, is when they go through that movement, right? Same with like an overhead press. I'm bringing these ones up because these ones are like when I cue my clients to them, they always are like, really? I shouldn't leave my shoulders
Classic.
down and back, right? So when you press dumbbells over your head, like let's say you're going to do an overhead press with dumbbells, your shoulders and your arms start down, then you press them up and your arms and shoulders should go up and then they should come back down and then they should go back up. They both move together. This is probably the easiest, fastest way to start practicing strengthening your shoulders. Now, I just want to touch on this because a lot of times people are like, well, I want to keep my shoulders down because I don't want them to be up. We didn't say keep them up. We said they should be strong in the up and the down. But a lot of times we feel like this idea that we should keep them down and back because a lot of people have like, I think, neck tension and tightness, or they think their shoulders are like up. So obviously the solution is hold them down. Well, actually, we want them to be strong in the up and strong in the down. And when you're just chilling, they should be neutral. They should be like in the middle. no matter what sensation you have, right? So if you have a tight shoulders, between your neck and your shoulder, that doesn't mean your shoulders are up. So don't push them down. And if you feel like tightness between your blades or something like that, it doesn't mean hold them forward or back. Just let them chill, and then strengthen them when you're doing your strength training, and let them move with your arm or your shoulder.
Exactly. All right. So how do you go about doing this? Yes, as Julie was saying, when you are doing your exercises, practice doing that. Practice trying to let your shoulder blades come up and let them come down when you're doing your various exercises. And additionally, allow your shoulders to go forward and allow your shoulders to go back when you're doing various exercises. But a lot of people kind of lack awareness with this. They're like, okay, well, I've trained myself so much to try to keep my shoulder blades down that I'm really kind of unaware of the sensation of them moving at all, because I'm so used to just trying to pull them down at all costs. The idea of like trying to let them move, I either don't really trust myself with that, or I don't really have the awareness of them moving. And honestly, this is where muscle activation techniques really can come in beneficial for so many people that are kind of unaware of how their bodies are moving, because a lot of times what happens is you have developed such strong compensations either through the shoulders or through your trunk or through other areas of your body to try to keep these shoulder blades down and back or try to keep them still, that your brain has literally rewired itself to have your compensations be its default way of doing things. And when you try to then break free of those compensations, just allow your shoulder blades to move the way they are designed to move, your body and your nervous system can be resistant to that. And so with muscle activation techniques, we are able to go in and kind of reteach your body how to allow your shoulder blades to move the way that they're designed to move, by figuring out which muscles are not participating properly, okay? Where there is some breakdown between your brain and your muscles, where that communication isn't happening, and help restore that communication, improve and strengthen that communication. So when you go and you do an exercise, it starts to feel more natural to just allow the shoulder blades to move. And with time and with practice, we have seen many clients tremendously improve their not only how their shoulders feel, but also how their shoulders function by allowing their shoulder blades to move, by restoring that mind-muscle connection, that communication between the brain and the muscles using muscle activation techniques. So for us, if you're feeling like, okay, well, I go and I try to work out, but I've been so practiced to just have my shoulder blades stay still, like it feels really weird trying to let them move, that again can be a sign that your body's trying so hard to compensate that it has literally forgotten how to do this. And using muscle activation techniques, we can help reteach your body how to do that. So if that's of interest to you, all you have to do to see our availability and get on our schedule is go to our website, www.matschaumburg.com, click the big green button that says get started, and you can schedule yourself for your initial MAT consultation and assessment. All right, well, thank you so much for your time and attention, everybody. We always appreciate your eyes on YouTube, your ears on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Wherever you consume our content, if you wouldn't mind leaving us a rating and review, it always means the world to us when you do. We are wishing you a fantastic week, and we'll talk with you all next week.
This podcast is for information purposes only. The statements and views on this podcast are not medical advice. This podcast, including Julie and Charlie Gates, disclaim responsibility for any possible adverse effects from the use of information contained herein. Opinions of guests are their own, and this podcast does not endorse or accept responsibility for statements made by guests. This podcast does not make any representations or warranties about guest qualifications or credibility. This podcast may contain paid endorsements or advertisements for products or services. Individuals on this podcast may have a direct or indirect financial interest in products or services referred to herein. If you think you have a medical issue, consult a licensed physician.